Hey guys, J-Man here, and we're going to be talking about the women's division in wrestling. So let's bring in my co-host. Hey Steve, how's it going?
J-Man, another day, another dollar.
Yeah, I wish I got $1 a day, just for being me. So on today's weekly Women of World Wrestling, we're going to be covering the the Smackdown episode, which was February 11th.
Yep.
We're going to cover the Raw episode, which was February 14th, Valentine's Day, so just yesterday. We're going to give our predictions and thoughts for the Elimination Chamber, which is this Saturday, and much, much more. And that's a lie, because there isn't going to be any more. You know, you ever seen videos where they're like, it's going to be all that and more. And it's like, I don't think it's going to be more, because no, there isn't any more. There's just, that's all there is.
Nope, that's all there is, man.
There isn't going to be any. There's not going to be any more. So, all right. Well, we'll play our little team up GIF that I have here.
Oh.
So that's the team up right there.
The Mega Powers before they exploded.
The Mega Powers, man, that was awesome. So basically, I mean, like, we could just quickly recap. So last week we didn't really find out who was going to be the fifth. I'm sorry, how many do we have? 6? How many are in the Elimination Chamber? I've lost count. But we only had 5, right?
Right.
Yeah. That was okay. So I was under the impression that there would be more of a hype over like who the 6th person. It's just like all of a sudden, because I was streaming last night on Clobberin Times channel. We were talking about Kingdom Come, the comic book story. Yep. So that went on pretty late. So I kind of had to very quickly go through Raw and all that. And was Alexa announced on Raw, or was she announced on SmackDown? I lost track of my notes.
Raw.
She was, yeah. And and the thing is, I PVR'd Raw, and I just I just fast forward through the bullshit stuff, right?
Yeah.
And then I'm like, whoa, it's like Alexa Bliss is going to be the 6th person. I'm thinking, what the hell happened? When did I miss? Did I miss something, or was that just like literally just announced as a thing?
Yeah, it was weird. Literally, the Alexa Bliss segment was in 2 parts. Mm-hmm. Both were very odd. Like, both were very odd. I don't know who wrote this episode, but like it was bizarre, because the first part was the psychiatrist is on the couch and she's sitting there and she's got her hair down and she's looking a little bit more normal than what she previously has been. And he's like, "Oh, I got a present for you." And he's like pushing the previous doll's like stuffing and stuff towards her. And I'm like, "What is this?" And he's like, "This is the original Lily. I want you to have her." And I'm like, this is just weird. Like,
so I missed that entire thing. That was on Raw?
Yeah.
And okay, so let's come back to that. Let's do SmackDown first.
Okay.
Let's come back to that, Steve, because I didn't see that. So you're gonna explain that to me.
Yeah.
So you know what? It must have been very quick, because I was fast forwarding and maybe I just somehow missed it. The thing is, it's like when I was doing this on my iPad. When I do it on the iPad, you forward in increments.
Yeah.
So I somehow must have missed that, which is really brutal. That's really brutal. Okay, so hold on a second. Let's let me just make a note here. Okay, one more. Okay. Okay, so that's really okay. So we'll come back to that. Let's start with SmackDown. So this was this past Thursday SmackDown, and we had Sonia Deville's got her arm in a cast, so that's a bunch of bullshit, right? Of course. And Rhonda was supposed to be. She's like, "You're gonna be suspended and you're gonna be fined or whatever." And then that goof comes out with his little
Adam
cell phone.
Pearce comes out.
He's like, let me read this. It's just so obvious there's nothing on there. Or if it is the script, it's just terrible. He's like,
yeah, it's his script.
I've got Mr. McMahon's email here. And it's like, why are you reading it dramatically? Like, you just read it, right? And he's like, you're not getting your text. And he's like, well, if you touch Naomi in any way or interfere in any way, your job will be in serious jeopardy. Like, why would you say it that way? You'd just be like, he says, yeah, if you touch her, your job's in serious. You know what? Why don't I forward you this so you can read it? Right? Like, how does she know that it's not fake, right?
I have never had anyone read an email to me like that at work, where it's like this big dramatic thing.
Now, let me add a dramatic flair to it.
Yeah, it was
Steven,
bizarre.
If you don't complete this task in 3 days, your job is in serious jeopardy. Like, okay, why are you talking weird?
Yeah, it's pretty bad. But like, so yeah, he came out and he said that, and I think it was good because I would have been pissed off if that match had any shenanigans, because it was a really good match. Hey, Double C. It was a really good match, and to have it ruined by interference would have been terrible. So I was glad they did that. It was just ridiculous how they did it. And then Naomi came out and slapped her, and I'm like, okay.
Oh, that was one of the best slaps ever, man. Like, she slapped the taste out of her mouth. Is that how The Rock was?
Yeah.
And Sonia did she oversell it maybe a little bit, but who cares?
Yeah. Yeah, well, she definitely oversold it.
I love when I saw a video where it's like the top 10 oversells, and it's like guys like getting slapped and they fall over the back of the top rope. You're like, okay, like
especially when it's a missed spot. Like there was one that was like a missed drop kick or something, and the guy went down like he literally got shot, and you saw he missed him completely.
You're like, no, that
the best is the Phantom. It was Taker versus HBK.
Yeah,
and like I think I forget who went over. I think Taker went over the ropes. He missed completely, and like the cameraman who was like 5 feet away fell over, and I'm like, he didn't even hit you. Like you could tell he wasn't even in the vicinity.
I saw that there was a I can't remember whose match it was this week, where it looked like a little bit of a miss, but they turned. I think it was Bianca Belair maybe, and Rhea Ripley, and there's a little bit like it looked like it was a bit of a miss, but they turned it into like, oh, it was a miss, like they made it say, oh, you just barely missed or something, you know.
Yeah,
which is the way to do it. Like if you see that it was a fail, just make it a miss. Like people can miss.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think it's such a big deal if you literally miss. So you go for it and you miss. Okay, well you missed. Okay, so that was SmackDown. That part with Naomi coming in and smacking her. And then we've got Alia, who's from Toronto, which is great. I didn't even realize.
Yeah, she's Canadian.
She's Canadian, so that's cool. Now she's got that thing where she has the fastest.
Yeah.
You know, whatever.
I like how they're calling Natalia the boat, the best of all time.
Best of all time. I like that a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was Alia versus Natalia. And this was sort of the Natalia saying, okay, I'm good. Look, this is a serious match now. We're not doing any bullshit, no counting out and all that.
Yeah.
It's like literally submission or pin. That's it. I like that a lot. And she made her tap.
Yeah, it's always good when someone pulls out the sharpshooter, because that was such a great move when we were
I do like
kids,
that.
and Bret Hart used it. Like,
Yep.
and Natalia hasn't been using it enough, in my opinion. She's been either losing, or she uses the discus clothesline, where she does a turn and then clotheslines a person, which is fine. But like the sharpshooter, if I was watching a Natalia match, I'd want to see her put the sharpshooter in, because it's such a great looking move. But this is something both Natalia and Alia needed, because Alia had the crowd wasn't behind her very much. Like, when a crowd's behind a wrestler when they pin, and it's like the crowd chants along with them, and we'll get to that in a bit later. They weren't doing that with her, really. Like, they didn't really care if she had a near fall or something.
Right.
And Natalia, it's hard to hate her. Like, the woman's been around forever. She comes from the Hart family. It's like, it's really hard to hate her. So they needed to have her attack Alia after the match to get some heat on her and some sympathy for Alia, because right now it's not working. Whatever they're doing, they keep having this match and no one really seems to care. I care, because I like the competitors, but like no one in the audience cares.
Yeah, Alia's just there.
Yeah,
it's like, okay, there she is. I mean, pretty, somewhat talented, but like there's nothing going on. Like, I'm not going to be buying the shirt. I'm not going to be buying the action figure. And it's just, there's just nothing there. Like, I don't hate her or anything like that at all. I don't have any feeling. Like, I always put myself in the position of, let's say if we were at one of these live events, and because they do the VIPs, which we were thinking about doing the VIPs, and they do like these VIP events, and you can meet some of the superstars, and you don't really get to pick. I think they ask you, who do you like, and then they try to see if that person, like, you pick your 2 or 3 people that you like, and they see if that person's available to meet after the show. And if they said, oh, the only person here is Alia, is that going to be something where I would be disappointed, thinking, oh man, it would have been cooler to meet someone else.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't be like, oh, this is trash. But
yeah,
it's just, I'm just like not that excited about Alia. She needs to. They need to just do something. I don't know what it is. I'm not one of these. I'm not a writer or booker or whatever. It's like there needs to be something done with her. So I don't know, but she could have the potential to be better. So we'll see where they go from here with her.
Well, they had Zia Lee come out and sort of save her, and they need to do something with Zia Lee, because she just right now just runs in. She attacks whoever's getting beaten up, and then you don't see her again. Like, she needs to have a proper match.
Yeah, I don't even know what's going on with that with Zia Lee. Like, what? So again, I really started only paying attention on the Rumble, right? So it's as many of these episodes as we've done. That's how many
I've watched. Yeah.
I've actually watched and like paid attention. Like, I would have wrestling on time to time, but it would be on, and I'd be reading comic books.
Background.
Or just to have something on the TV. That's because it's it's in HD. It looks nice. It's very colorful, and it's kind of fun to have on TV, right?
Yep.
And my wife doesn't watch any of this stuff, so for her, she's reading her manga, and I'm reading my comics. So it's So I've seen some, but I don't know what this, like, Zia Lee, like, what is she? Like, what is her role here? She's just coming in. You're like, oh, okay. She's not booked in any of the. She's not in an Elimination Chamber. She's got no angle going, I don't think. So I don't know what they're going to do with that character.
Well, they've sort of given her the role of protector. They did this whole bunch of vignettes where she was the protector and she hated bullies. And I'm like, all right, cool. And she runs in and she protects them. I'm kind of like, is she like, I don't know, like the Wizard of Oz or something, where she just appears randomly and she'll attack. She'll stop someone getting bullied and then she'll leave. Yeah, she is a rookie from NXT. I think she was a heel in NXT. I kind of want to see, when people don't work as faces, they have to go to heels, in my opinion. Like, you got to see which one works, and vice versa.
Yeah, and she's from Toronto. She's like from our backyard here, man. Like,
yeah,
like she lived right here, like, 15-minute drive or whatever. So it's like, it's great to support her, but I mean, I'm not so like, I mean, Steve is a sports guy. I'm not really a sports guy. at all, like, or at least not any of the sports that anybody here would care about. I watch sumo wrestling. um, and I watch archery and stuff, which again isn't really like, you can't follow people. I just watch whatever's on, and and I watch a little bit of UFC, but I don't have that. I have to support the person from my town.
Yeah.
Even with Bret Hart, like if Bret Hart was facing off against someone who I liked, it's like I don't necessarily cheer for Bret Hart, but I would never cheer against him, I guess, because Bret Hart was so ingrained into the Canadian thing. But if it's Alia versus Becky, I'm rooting Becky like all the way, right? So they've got to do something more with her. But I'm sure she'll be at that Toronto show, which is coming up in March. So I'm sure she'll be there, and she'll get a big pop, I guess, there, because everybody like, yeah, Toronto. So she'll have to definitely win whatever match she's in on that night.
Yeah.
So. All right. So the big match, Naomi versus Charlotte Flair. Man, I thought this was pretty good, right? Like, I'm watching this, I'm thinking, wow, this is like better than I thought it would be. Like, I mean, had that been a pay-per-view match, and they were even saying like, wow, this is like pay-per-view level match, you would have been like, hey, that wasn't too bad. I mean, it was a clean win, which I always like. There's a lot of those near misses where you're like, I do like. Look, I know maybe it's cliche now, but I do like the near misses, especially when you've got like 3 or 4, almost like not back to back, but almost like back to back, like a couple of moves. Oh my God, 1, 2, 3. Vince McMahon was the champion for those near. He'd be like, 1, 2, 3, new champion. I can't believe. No, it was a 2 count. It's 2. Like, he always like he takes 2 seconds to realize that they're not the champion. He'd be like, 1, 2, 3, new champion. No, it was a kick out. It was a kick out. Oh my God. Oh my God. Vince, relax. Like.
Yeah. Well,
but, what did you think of that?
I thought it was awesome. I'm glad that Naomi's talented. Charlotte obviously is top of the game.
Yeah.
There was a really, really, really bad spot at the end, like really bad, where literally Charlotte was bent over and she was like looking at Naomi. She's waiting for her to try and hit her with the rear view so she could counter it and then hit the natural selection. And she's literally like bent over looking at her. And I'm like, is Naomi not
what's going
realizing
on
what she's got to do? Like, it was.
And
weird.
I think that was the match that had the flub that I was saying earlier, where like it was an obvious miss.
Yeah.
And then they kind of played it off as though it was a miss. It's like, oh, she missed. Oh, it was close. It's like, I mean, look, like, what are you gonna do? This is like, right? Like, there's no. This isn't like Tom Cruise and flubs the line, then you just retake it. You're stuck with what you have. Yeah, sorry, continue.
Yeah, it's true. It was just really weird, and it stood out because the rest of the match was
pretty good.
Well done. Naomi's very talented. She did some great moves, that split-legged moonsault. I loved it. But Charlotte is awesome, and Charlotte has really grown into a great storyteller in the ring. Like, you can see the look of anguish on her face or something, like when she's getting beaten, and like when she gets a near miss, she's shocked.
She's shocked.
I like, that's the great thing that we'll see, is when they do that match so well, you think the impossible could happen. And I agreed. There were points in it where I'm like, Naomi may win this. As shocking as it was, and part of you's like, no, she can't win this. But you're like, I don't know. She's doing really well. Like, holy crap. There was a couple times where I'm like, she's won. Like, and then Charlotte kicks out, and I'm like, this is awesome. Like, it was such an excellent match. And then, of course, they had to set up Elimination Chamber because it is going to be Rhonda and Naomi versus
Sonia
and Charlotte. So.
And we know, well, we'll talk about the predictions at the end of this, but yeah, so and now Sonia came out and did damage, and so now is she going to be fined or whatever, right? Like,
well, it was after the match. She couldn't touch her during the match. It was after the match
right.
she did that.
Okay. I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
Yes, I didn't read the Vince McMahon email. I was laughing too much with that guy reading it out. It's like, well, I've got this Vince McMahon text here. Let me read this out for you. I was like, what is happening? It's like, stop it.
Vince McMahon. Do you think Vince McMahon texts? He probably doesn't even text.
Machete don't text. It's like, yeah, no, okay. All right. So anything else on SmackDown that's noteworthy? I guess we covered that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
There's really only 3 or 4 segments for the females in either show.
I think the only thing that's really staying out to me is what happened to the female tag team champions. They haven't defended or wrestled for like a couple of weeks now. They were in this stupid toga party on Raw, but they've been MIA. I'm like, do we not have? The WWE forgets they have champions from time to time.
And they can, you know what? They can really eliminate, like Raw's 3 hours, SmackDown is 2 hours. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. They can eliminate. There's some really, like, I'm not paying attention to the men.
Yeah.
But some of the stuff's a bit lame. And it does go on a while, and you're just like, oh, I don't care about this. Like, why don't you eliminate some of the men's parts and add another female match or whatever?
Yeah.
They do have a lot of superstars, but you forget about these people.
Yeah.
And when you're literally saying they literally are forgetting. It's like, where are the tag champions? I don't know.
Yeah.
And it's like, and they don't have a match at Elimination. Do they have a match? No, they don't even.
They're not in the Elimination Chamber.
They're not in the Elimination Chamber.
I'm like, what's going on? Why is Carmelina and Queen Zelina not wrestling? Like, you made them the tag champs. When Rhea and Nikki ASH were tag champs, they were wrestling every freaking week.
Yeah, I've never seen, because I've started so late, I've never seen, the only time I've seen Queen Zelina or whatever is in the Rumble.
Yeah.
I forgot about that person until you mentioned it now, because I'm like, oh yeah, like what happened to those people? I remember them saying, oh, and they were together, like, oh, are they going to stay together in the Rumble and all that? And then, and then the Bella Twins, even, it's like, I guess they're not doing much anymore. But
they're retired, so
they just came in for no reason. But it's just like, I don't get it. They need to devote more time. Like, if you got a 3-hour program, you can delete some of the shenanigans, or at least cut down some of these promos. Because like they come on there and they just blab on. And I think we can go into Raw now. And I think this is where I missed the Alexa Bliss stuff, because people are just blabbing on. And I'm like, okay, I got to fast forward some of this crap. Like, I don't care about it. Maybe I'm sure there's people out there who are following these angles or whatever, but I just literally don't care at all.
The one for the men, the only thing that was really, really good was when Brock Lesnar came into the ring and they had the elimination guys, and he literally used one of the wrestlers as a hat stand. He literally draped his jacket and his hat on the guy. And this is one of the guys who his big thing is he takes a selfie with you when he beats you.
Oh, right? That's funny.
So this idiot tried to jump Brock Lesnar from behind. Hey, skeptic. He tried to jump Brock from behind. Brock German suplexed him twice and F5'd him. Everyone clears out a ring. He picks this guy's dead body up and takes a selfie with the guy.
That's awesome.
It was funny, man. I'm like, Brock Lesnar is hilarious these days. I'm like, I don't know what happened.
I guess they found some sort of thing with some angle with him that he could do some other stuff. Amazing Spider-Man 2 is playing the background. You should play like, I don't know. You should play I Need a Hero or something, and then we're working.
Yeah.
I need a hero.
Get Footloose on there.
Okay.
So the Alexa Bliss stuff.
Okay, so I missed all. So why don't you just tell me about what happened with Alexa then? I completely missed all this.
So she's there and her hair's down, and she's looking more like pre-fiend Alexa.
Right. So
and the psychiatrist is there and he starts like, you deserve a gift or whatever because you've done so well here. And he starts like pushing parts of stuff towards her, like stuffing, and I'm
Right.
like, what's he doing? What is this? And then he's like, I'm giving you back Lily. I'm like, it's the things in pieces. A video I watched, the guy said, like, imagine this guy's like, you've done so well. Here's a dead body. Like, why?
Right. Like, it's like so
Why?
weird. I'm trying to see if I can find, because I've got the app. I'm trying to see if I can find the I'm sure I can find the clip because I think I deleted off my PVR because they take up so much space. It's 5
Yes.
hours, right? Okay, so he's got the real Lily this time.
Yeah,
and it's
the real
pieces,
Lily. So
and
he
he's
gives it
giving
to her, and
to
she's
her.
all like, very like, oh, and then he gives her like a fake Lily, and I'm like, what are we doing here? Like, I don't understand. And it was just so freaking weird. And then the second one was where she's like, she's leaving his office. She's got the silver jacket and stuff. She looks a lot more like she used to. And she's like, I heard there's an elimination chamber this weekend. I think I'll enter it. I'm like, is that all it takes to get into the elimination chamber? Like, Rhea Ripley is like blowing her mind out in the ring against this gauntlet. And like, Alexa Bliss can just go to the psychiatrist and decide she's in the elimination chamber. I'm kind of like, why don't you guys make this more prestigious? Like, on one hand, you got people going through hell to be the last entrant. On the other hand, this person just decides they're going to be in the elimination chamber. Like, it's very weird. I would not have done that at all. Like, they should have done something with Alexa where she snuck in at the end and she did something devious to be the last person or something. Or something
they should have done something way more than that.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if the psychiatrist is going to be some kind of villain who's going to try to control her or something like that. Maybe.
Well, the elimination chamber always has 3 faces and 3 heels. There it is. So if you look at it, Rhea, Liv, and Bianca are faces. Doudrop and Nikki ASH are heels. Alexa's got to be a heel.
Yeah. I guess. Is Doudrop a heel?
She's a heel. She's a heel for sure.
Yeah, there you go. So we're going to talk about that once we finish up all of our other stuff. Alexa's going to be back to her god. Yeah, so she's going to go back to her goddess persona now after that whole Lily thing.
I hope so, Double C, because to be honest with you, that was her at her best. I didn't. The weirdo thing was fine, but like, I prefer her as a goddess. So.
Well, I mean, Andy Kaufman was the intergender champion back in the day. They have mixed tag matches.
Yeah.
And then inevitably this was always weird to me. The men inevitably would hit the women in some point in the match or something. Yeah. I don't like any gimmick thing which doesn't result in clean wins or good fights.
Yeah.
Because professional wrestling has 2 aspects. 3, I guess. Story, character, and then the actual match. You can get away with if you're really, really, really amazing in one of those 3 things, you can kind of get away with not being the greatest in the other 2. So like Hogan was such a great character. His storylines were always basic, as he's against whatever bad guy it is, and the wrestling matches weren't always that great. But Hulk Hogan himself was so good, and as an entertainer, and people got pumped up for him, and he became this cartoon character, actually figuratively and literally. So so that was almost enough. But then you had Macho Man, who was really good as a character, and the matches were usually pretty good. And he had some okay stories as well. Now Hogan had some okay stories as well, right? So for me, it's like character. If you're ranking Hulk Hogan, it's character, story, wrestling ability, right? Macho Man, it's almost like, man, character, wrestling abilities, both really good, and the stories were not, like, you know what I mean? So there's guys like that. So any match where that messes it up, where it's like, oh, there's going to be intergender or something, where like, well, this match is now not going to be any good, and the stories are usually not that great either. So you're just left with characters, but they're not even characters because it's not a singles match. Inevitably, one of the people sucks. right? I don't know. It's just I never got pumped up for it. No, it's not diarrhea. That's terrible. Rhea Ripley is awesome. She'd beat the crap out of you. I'll tell you that much right now. She is. I'll show you the picture again. She is the one. She's the one on the end, and she looks all smiling and happy there. But she like if you see her angry, like she'll literally beat the crap out of you.
So there has been 2 females I'm aware of who have taken on males and taken them on.
China,
legitimately. China's one, and the other one is Karma, who was Awesome Kong, and she was in the men's Royal Rumble, and she did quite a bit of damage when she entered.
Yeah. But again, like that's like really powerhouse.
Yeah,
Rhea Ripley's looks pretty strong.
Oh, she's Bianca Belair and Rhea Ripley and Doudrop could probably run with some of the guys for sure. Yes, they did try to be real at one point.
I mean, when you say real, like, I mean, people believed it.
Yep.
Were they trying to be real? Well, you need to suspend your disbelief. It's sort of like saying, is this movie trying to be real?
Yep.
I mean, you're watching a movie and you're expecting the contents of the film to be set in some sort of real world, even if it's a cartoon, right? Like even if it's like G.I. Joe or whatever, you're like, well, so they're creating a world, WWF, professional wrestling, whatever, the professional wrestling industry is creating a world where there's characters and matches and stories and things like that. So the world it creates is as real as a film world, but it's not. It's not. It's athleticism, but it's not an athletic competition. So it wasn't real in that sense. They knew who was going to win. So it's not UFC where you don't know who is going to win. You're never going to know who wins in UFC or whatever.
Yeah, Skeptic. At one point, wrestling had what they called kayfabe.
Kayfabe. Sean just mentioned it.
They did believe it. One of the things that sort of took that down was the Iron Sheik and Hacksaw Jim Duggan, who were mortal enemies at that point. They got pulled over because they were driving together, and there was like pot and stuff involved, and that really hit the credibility that this is real. When that happened. But I think people began to understand, like when you start having outrageousness, like the Undertaker can control the lights and shoot fireballs. Like
that was silly.
Yeah, it's just ridiculous at that point, and you know it's fake.
Yeah, the best ever for me was I remember when I went to go see wrestling a long time ago, and when I saw one of the practice ladder matches, which was Razor Ramon versus Shawn Michaels. And this is where they used to do all those house shows, and the matches that you saw at those shows were basically just practice matches for the big events.
Yep.
So I saw the ladder match, and then we saw the ladder match, the real ladder match, and I don't think those house shows counted for anything. Like if someone lost at one of these house shows, basically house shows are like where they're local shows. They just come to your local arena, and then you guys go to watch it. They weren't really taped. It wasn't like you're watching Raw or Smackdown or whatever. So none of this stuff counted in the storyline of wrestling. And kayfabe, that's the term that people are using to say that, I still don't really understand if kayfabe is referring to the fake part or it's referring to the fake part, right? Like
it's referring to like
injury. If they have a kayfabe injury, that's a storyline injury,
right? But they're selling it as real.
But they're selling it as a real injury,
right?
Yeah, that's okay. So that's what I thought it was. Yeah. So that's the terminology used. So someone comes to the ring and they're holding their neck and they're like, "Oh, I hurt my neck," and it's like I can't wrestle tonight because I hurt my neck from last weekend, and that's fake. So it's part of the storyline that their neck is hurt.
Right.
So it's a fake, but then there's actual injuries where Stone Cold literally, hurt his neck and he's got to get surgery and stuff like that. That's like legit injuries. You can tell too if you can go online and just look up go on YouTube and do like fake wrestling or something, or fake professional wrestling or whatever, fake pro wrestling or pro wrestling tips or something. And I'll tell you all the stuff. Like you can see the referee will do like a cross. That means, okay, something's up. We have to like,
But now they gotten to a point where because everyone knows that, they'll use it in the storyline. They will do that.
So see, this is the thing, right?
Yeah.
People now know the cross thing. So they use that as part of it. Oh, yeah. So what's the new thing? So what's the real new thing?
There's a way that they do it. Like they flash it, but they don't see it on camera. Like the cameras know to get it off them.
I gotcha.
If you see an actual referee go like this, it's probably fake.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah, like George the Animal Steel was like a principal, like a public school principal or a high school principal. And this was a guy who came out all hairy, he had a green tongue, and he did not speak English. He's like, He's like, and he was like a high school prince. I think Kamala was like a postal man or something.
I have a Kamala figure right there, man. I got some guy sent it to me by accident. I ordered a shit ton of the wrestling toys from this guy, and he accidentally sent me Kamala, who I didn't order. So I emailed him saying, "Listen, you sent me Kamala." He's like, "Just keep them." So I've got a Kamala figure, and that actually got me more excited for Kamala. I don't know why, just because I had the toy of him. Yeah, Cowboy Bob Orr. Oh, the famous one is Greg the Hammer Valentine's leg.
His ankle.
You have to wear the ankle thing for and he would turn it so that the figure four would like hurt more.
Yeah.
All right. So we started off Raw with the contract signing, and these contract signings are either lame or great. I kind of like this one because Becky Lynch is super funny. She comes in, she's all like, ooh, like all mopey, and she has like this raggedy pants and all that. She sits down and she's like, "Don't do this."
She's like, "I loved you, Lita. This is not going to end well. Like, don't do this.
Don't do this to me." And I'm like, okay, like, I mean, I don't. If this contract signing was a real thing, you would need to devote an entire show to just contract signings.
Yeah.
Like, how come we didn't see the contract signing for anything? Like, we only see them when they need to do something in the story, right? I mean, I think they come out with better promo ideas. Go ahead, Steve. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, the contract signings are always ridiculous. I remember there was one contract signing I was watching where I don't remember if it was the men's or the women's, but literally one person said, "So why don't you just sign the contract so then we can just throw punches at each other because that's how it's going to end up." These always end with the two people attacking each other. And I just burst out laughing because it's true. That's how they always end up. Probably Edge, because Edge is one of those fourth wall guys who always like will tell you. I remember he said to Triple H once, he's like, "So I'm supposed to be on your side because you're a good guy now and I'm a good guy now. So we're supposed to agree, but I'm not going to agree with you." That's why I always liked Edge. Like even
he is neat.
Matt Hardy's like little fleet.
Plus he was in Highlander 5.
He was in he's Canadian,
4,
right?
Sorry, Highlander 4. Highlander had the first Endgame because it was Highlander Endgame.
That is true.
And then those bastard Marvel guys stole it. You heard Stone Cold? Oh, that'd be interesting.
Yeah, I've heard it's going to be against Kevin Owens because Kevin Owens came out and said he hates Texas. Yeah.
Well, I was watching when Owen Hart, when the Owen Hart thing happened with Blue Blazer when he came down, and I was watching that live at home, and I remember calling Brennan, who's been on this channel many times when we do our versus segments, and Brennan called me. He's like, "Yo, what's going on? Is there something going on?" Because we're watching the pay-per-view at home, and I'm like, "Yeah, something's going on." It's like, what? That's right, F them. He stole the Highlander Endgame. There's only one Endgame, and that's Highlander. Remember it was that really, I think Clerks 2 or something, which I despised. But there was a funny line. He's like, "There's only one return, and that's of the Jedi." Because we were doing Return of the King. It was Return of the King versus Return of the Jedi. And then one of those assholes from Clerks is like, "There's only one return. That's of the Jedi." There's only one Endgame, and that's Highlander Endgame. I'm saying I'm gonna make a stream on that. All right. Okay, so yeah, her outfit was totally hilarious in that.
I was just like, I just loved the way they talk to each other. Like, but the funny thing is, this is one of the things where WWE usually gives you a sneak peek, like there'll be in a tag match or something, and they'll give you like a taste.
Yeah.
They haven't done that. It's all been promos back and forth, back and forth, back and forth.
Yeah. Maybe Lita. So is Lita gonna go for a run, you think, or?
Well, I think she's going to be back for a while. She's going to go for a run, but I think it's more so maybe someone is wising up and saying, let's not give away everything for free. Like, that's the one thing is like, yeah, Raw and SmackDown is great, especially for the paying customers, but you shouldn't give away the great stuff for free. You should save the pumped up stuff for the pay-per-views, which is why you don't get usually any Hell in a Cell matches. You don't get elimination matches. You don't get rumbles. You don't get elimination matches on Raw or SmackDown a lot because you're supposed to pay for that. And that's correct. That's the business model that should be. But it's just, I'm glad that they haven't given it away yet. And now people will want to pay to see Becky versus Lita. That's how it should be. Right? That's how it's set up. It's like UFC. You wouldn't set up the big match and just put it on Monday night because it'd be like, well, I'm not making any money off this.
Right.
I mean, how many people showed up to WWF Superstars and those matches, they may have had one good match and the rest were squash matches against jobbers.
Right. It's always bullshit.
So you're supposed to pay for the great matches. In this one, at least they are making you pay for it, which is how it should be.
Yeah, no, and that's a good point. And I want to get this set up too because you reminded me. I got to get the tag match up here because I don't have that. But okay, so then we had Rhea Ripley go on for like a freaking
45 minutes.
Shit ton. I don't know, man. I'm really liking this girl a lot. Like, I kind of liked her before just because I thought she looked cool. Because I do like that kind of like goth. In the lipstick, and she's actually very pretty, but like it's like she's making herself, like look like really manly, like I'm this big evil man. It's like, if you just see her normally, she's very pretty, but like it's like she's trying to be like, I'm this like tough chick or whatever. I think she looks really cool.
Yeah.
So what are your thoughts? I mean, that was crazy. So like this was basically a match. She started off against Nikki ASH. And this is the Gauntlet match. So it's literally like you're fighting for your entry point in elimination.
No, you're fighting for last.
You're fighting for last, right? Like you want to be the last person in the elimination chamber, right?
Yep.
Because it's like two people fight, one person's eliminated, the next person enters, right? Is that how that works?
No, I believe, and someone, Double C, you can correct me on this because you probably know better than me because I've seen
and hold on, I'm going to try and Steve, if you get the app is free. Mm-hmm. I created a free account on the WWE app. Okay. And you can watch last year's Elimination Chamber for free.
Oh.
So I'm going to watch last year's just to give me an idea of what it's like. But yeah, go ahead. Tell me what you think it is.
I believe it's like the Rumble where it's timed.
Ah. Okay. So it's like two start off, and then after a certain amount of time,
another chamber opens and another chamber.
So basically, Rhea Ripley, that gauntlet thing was to see who's going to be last, so it's like the Rumble. Obviously, if you're last, that's a better.
You're fresher. Yeah.
That's a better thing. Yeah. Okay. So, and I want to get this JPEG up here too, just so we have this chamber. I think I'll have everything ready to go. Oh, we got a bot here. Gotta block this guy. I don't know why we get these bots now. They're crazy. Like last night we had so many on, and that's like, why is this happening? Like,
how do you know it's a bot?
Because the name of the person's very weird. Like you see how Double C's name is just like his, a normal name.
Yeah.
It's like the bot's name is like VXQ-541 or something. It's like, you're like, that's obviously not a human being, or well, you could just tell that's not a human being. That's what I want to put up. All right. Okay, so her first. Let me adjust my seating here. So her first opponent was Nikki ASH, and these were all clean wins.
Yeah.
In this gauntlet thing was awesome. I thought this was freaking awesome.
Yeah, I mean the Nikki ASH thing. It's no contest for me. Rhea was going to win, so
yeah, that was easy. I knew for sure.
It's a good starter match.
Yep, and we knew Rhea was that was a no brainer, right? That was super obvious. Hey, Just Joe, what is going on, dude?
Hey, Just Joe.
I like what's your icon?
I think that might be Madison Square Garden.
Let us know. I wanted to ask you last time and I had forgotten. I should turn. You could see my red lightsaber that you gave me. Steve gave me this right here where I'm pointing is my red lightsaber. I should have that turned on for these things. It'd be pretty neat.
I think it's just off camera.
Oh, I can see it on my end.
Oh.
One second.
Yeah.
Man, that has been wanting to come out since we started the stream. Oh my God. That was a good, when you sneeze and you're like, damn it, that has been waiting all day.
That cleans me out. That cleans my head.
Yeah. Okay, so you're right, Steve. It's 5 minutes and then they're in. Okay, perfect. Thanks, Double C.
Thanks, Double C.
Okay. So the gauntlet match is trying. You want to be last in this thing, so that's what's happening here.
Yeah.
So yeah, the first match. I mean, we knew Nikki was losing. Losing that. Then Liv Morgan came in, and I had a feeling that Liv was going to lose, but I actually like Liv Morgan.
Yeah, she's awesome.
I like the tears thing. She looks kind of cool. It's a little bit. It's more unique or whatever. It wasn't too bad.
Nope. She was scrappy. She's very athletic. She made some good when she got put into the reverse. I think it's a reverse Texas Cloverleaf, and she made it to the ropes. I didn't expect that. I thought like Rhea was going to just overpower and drag her. So she did it, and then she went all the way up to the top rope. And I'm like, this girl is like mega flexible. Like holy crap.
Yes. Okay, I remember that. That was cool.
Yeah, I'm always impressed by Liv Morgan. She puts together a hell of a performance, and she's always a perpetual underdog. She's always like doing these flips and rolls and stuff and trying to, she's got a size at disadvantage usually against her opponent. And I love her scrappiness, her underdog persona.
Yeah. She's a bit of a shorty, but like I guess compared to Ria Ripley, everyone's short.
Yeah.
But yeah, like she's pretty good. She seems tough. It's like she's just like tough, right? Okay. Yeah, I mean, I still knew that she was going to lose though. Then Doudrop came in, and I thought, shit, I don't know about this one now. I still thought Rhea might win, but Doudrop really just took a lot out. Like at that point, you're like, there's no way, because then the next person's Bianca Belair, and it's like. I almost thought if Bianca comes in right now, one of two things can happen. Either Bianca wins, or if she loses, it has to be some outside interference or some bullshit. Because if Bianca Belair comes in and then Rhea Ripley defeats her after taking all that damage from those other three, that would make Bianca look real bad.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, it's like that would just mean that Rhea Ripley's way overpowered.
Yeah.
Right. Especially even beating Doudrop was pretty crazy. It's like.
Well, I mean, Doudrop's one of the few who can go toe to toe with Rhea Ripley. And that's why I think it was a great thing to see. Like just to see them when they had each other and they're clotheslining each other and no one's moving.
Yeah.
She gave her a riptide, which she didn't get her very high off the ground, but the fact she even did it is crazy. Yeah, Rhea Ripley, like she was a star in this thing, man. She was just a star. But she had to beat Doudrop because if Doudrop went on, she'd fight Bianca, and we've already seen that like a few times. And like, I'm glad that they said, let's do Rhea against Doudrop because we haven't seen that. Let's do Rhea against Bianca because Rhea is like one of those people you just want her to fight everyone. Like, this is why they want guys like Edge in or AJ Styles. on the men's division, because they're like, we want them to fight, Randy Orton and, like all these other guys, because it's like, these are dream matches. And it's the same. You want to see Rhea compete as much as she can, because she's just such an awesome ring competitor. And she's got such she's a big person. She's tall and she's built. And you're like, I want to see her against against a Doudrop who's just, she's a big girl, and see how that works, and fight Bianca Belair, because Bianca Belair is pound for pound probably the strongest person in WWE, period. So you're like, I want to see that. I'm glad they gave it to us. I think this is one of those rare occasions where everything was booked perfectly, which never happens.
It was clean wins. I like that.
Yeah.
I just like where it's like, look, this is the winner and deal with it. So yeah, I agree. I think all that was really well done. Okay, so that's officially the end of everything for Raw and SmackDown. So before we end off, let's do some predictions.
Okay.
I try to keep these streams not too long. I don't want these to go on forever with us just blabbing or whatever. But maybe I'll take a note. Maybe I'll note our predictions so we can see what's going on. All right, so. The next thing is going to be SmackDown. And so I'll get my notes for that. So wait a second. What's SmackDown? What's the date for SmackDown? Oop.
Should be the 18th.
18th?
Yeah.
So that's Feb 18. And then Elimination Chamber.
I think it's a Saturday.
It's the Saturday, yeah. So I'll say Elim is 19th. Feb 19th. Okay, so I'm gonna write our predictions down. And then Raw. Oh, this is the next stream's gonna be maybe it's gonna be a bit longer next Tuesday, because that's Feb 21st is Raw.
Yeah.
And then we're going to be back on the 22nd. Okay, so 22nd is going to be a little longer, which is okay. We'll do the same start time. Let's get the matches down. So I've got my overlays ready. First off, we'll do the Elimination Chamber last. First off, we're going to have this tag match coming out. So that's going to be I'm going to say this is Naomi and Rhonda versus Flair and Sonia. All right, Steve. Who do you think's going to win on that?
I think it's going to be Naomi and Rhonda, and I think it's specifically going to be Naomi pinning Sonia.
Yes, that sounds good. Okay, so you're going to think Naomi pins Sonia. Yeah, well, Rhonda and Charlotte are definitely not going to pin each other.
No,
that's 100%.
Yeah,
I was thinking. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to go with that. I'm going to go with yours. You know why? I was thinking whoever wins this one is going to be the one who loses at Mania. However, I'm now thinking that they want to conclude or give some sort of extra win to Naomi because she's been taking so many beatings, or they could have Sonia beat or pin Naomi, and then they're going to be like, oh, we got to settle this once and for all, just you and me.
What? Yeah. What if Sonia win? I thought it was going to be either Naomi pinning Sonia, or Rhonda pinning Sonia. I think you don't have the heels win this time. I just feel like with what Sonia has been doing, the WWE universe, the fans want to see her comeuppance.
Yep.
Thank you, Double C. It's at 12 p.m. They want to see her get her comeuppance.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be more satisfying to see Naomi pin her, but like if Rhonda pins her, because they may also want to remind people, yeah, Rhonda's a complete badass and she rolls over people.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
I
So
wouldn't be surprised if Charlotte.
What's our? We'll do a collective opinion. What's our? What do you want? What do you think? You want to stick with Sonia pins or Naomi pins Sonia?
Yeah, now I'm talking it through. It might be more Ronda's going to pin Sonia because I think we're going to get to a point where Charlotte may actually walk out on Sonia.
Yeah, that'll happen probably.
And then Sonia will be left in the ring with Rhonda. And then it still might be something where Rhonda takes her out and then Naomi's allowed to pin her. But that would be kind of cheaping out on Naomi. So
yeah,
I don't know. I'm going to stick with Naomi's going to pin Sonia.
Okay, so we'll stick together on that one and see what happens. Okay, is this a no-brainer?
Yeah, it's no brainer. Becky wins. I don't think there's a hope in hell. The only way this would work is if the WWE doesn't want two heel female champions walking into Mania, which I don't know if that's ever happened.
Oh, really? No, I mean, Becky's got this. I think this is a no-brainer.
I would think it's a no-brainer because I think you need Becky to go in as a champion. But again, who's her opponent going to be? Whoever wins the Elimination Chamber. But we'll get to that in a second. But I don't know. This is just a weird one because I could see it almost becoming a triple threat match at Mania. I don't know. This one's weird. I'll say Becky for now, just because it's unfathomable that she would lose the belt at Elimination Chamber. But I've seen champions I was sure going to win lose at Elimination Chamber before.
Right. Okay. I'm going to stick with Becky because I can't see the streak. It's like it's been 500 or something, isn't it? Like,
well, it's been since SummerSlam, so I don't know if it's almost been 1 year. It's been like 300 Christ. Or whatever.
It's been, yeah, so it's been hundreds of days, right?
Well, technically it's in 500 because she didn't lose the belt.
Yeah, she got pregnant.
She had to give it up. So it might be that long. I don't know.
It is. I think they said it. They said the dates. It's like 500 plus days.
Okay.
I just can't see Lita beating that.
The only thing that makes me pause is that Lita is a legend. Do you want her to lose? I don't know. Like, I don't know where you go from here. I could see them, but I don't see them rematching at Mania. I could see them triple threading at Mania. I don't see them rematching, but I don't know where you put Lita after this match. If she is going to continue her run, which isn't guaranteed. But yeah, we'll say Becky. We'll just say
I'm gonna say Becky, man. I just can't. It's just too weird. That's gonna give us a lot to talk about. That'll be an interesting Raw.
Yeah,
if that happens, that's for sure. All right, so then we've got the Elimination Chamber itself. So we've got, this is pretty stacked up, really.
Yeah.
Is Liv gonna win this because she's in the front of the poster? It's one of these ones where it's like, it's like, are they trying to tell us something in this poster? So yeah, go ahead.
Eliminate who's definitely not winning. Nikki's not winning, and Doudrop's not winning.
All right, so let me write these down. Nikki, Liv, Bianca, and Rhea.
And Alexa.
And Alexa. Oops. Alexa. I'm pretty sure. Okay, yeah, Nikki's not winning. That's 100%. Doudrop's not going to win.
Nope.
I don't think Alexa's going to win either.
It's going to be may lose it because they're doing the whole thing like, oh, you're in control of your anger. So she's obviously going to lose her temper at some point during the match, and I don't know if that's going to lead to her being eliminated. 500 plus days. Yeah,
dude. There's no way Lita's going to.
I forgot she didn't technically lose the belt.
Technically, right.
Yeah. I don't see Alexa winning. Unfortunately, I don't see Liv winning. It's between Rhea and Bianca. I'm going to go with Bianca. It's so tough between her and Rhea.
Yeah,
it's so tough. I'm still going to stick with Bianca.
All right, let's do Bianca as our prediction. So that's our that is our predictions. It's going to be interesting. I don't know. So this looks like I'm just going by what's on the that's the only matches there are.
Yeah.
Because it's Bobby Lashley versus Brock versus Seth freaking Rollins versus Austin Theory versus Riddle and AJ Styles. I mean, yeah, Becky versus Lita. Roman Reigns, Usos, Drew McIntyre. Yeah, that's it. There's only those three matches. How long is Elimination Chamber? I think it's like 3.5. If you go to the app, oh crap! I started it and I left it off where it was, and then no, here it is. It's back. Okay, so you can actually go to the app, and it's free, and you can do Elimination Chamber 2020.
Oh,
it's like, and you can just watch the whole thing. And do you have a Fire Stick?
No.
Well, you've got a smart TV. Check your smart TV. See if you can get the WWE app on your smart TV. You can add it.
Yeah, I probably can.
Yeah. My TV, I should be able to add it on my TV as well. And because if not, but Fire Stick for sure will work. But if not, because the Fire Stick, I can even watch sumo. I can watch sumo off the Fire Stick on my big TV. So I'm gonna put the app on and freaking watch it like that. That's gonna be that. Like I can watch the old shows like that, and it's free. So why not? Okay. Bianca's gonna win. Yeah. Okay. Double C's thinking Bianca. Yeah. All right. Let's see how that goes. I like Bianca Belair a lot. I don't know. There's something about her. She's really neat.
The smart money's on Bianca. She's the EST of the WWE, and like she is like she's such a phenomenal athlete. Like it's ridiculous. She's awesome. Got a great look. She always puts on a terrific show. Her match against Rhea was freaking awesome for as long as it was. It was just really cool to see the two of them going at it, like two so evenly matched competitors. Really awesome.
So that's gonna be gonna be pretty. I think this Elimination Chamber is gonna be really neat. So I'm gonna watch the old one, or the old one, like the 2021 one. I'll see how far back these freebies go, and we will go back and see if our predictions were right. All right, guys. Well, I think we're just over now, which is perfect. Okay, I think I'm gonna end it off there. So I'm gonna be live. This is weird. I'm gonna be live tomorrow. Just Sean and I, we're going to be doing a special on 90s comic books. It might be a new ongoing segment. I've tried doing this segment as a solo series where I was going through some books. Sean reached out to me and wanted to do something together. So technically that's going to premiere tomorrow, and I've called it Days of Thunder, the awesome comics of the 90s. But that's what it was, man. It was the Days of Thunder, man. We were just like, if you're not going to the comic store and buying every comic book, you're a total loser. We never want to speak to you again. It's like that. It's like we lost friends. We had to drop people. This one guy's like, I can't buy every issue of Image Comics. I'm like, then I can't be your friend. I don't know. I can't. Like, what are we going to talk about?
Leave my house.
It's like you're done, buddy, right? And then secretly they'd be like, okay, can you just tell me what happens in that issue so I can kind of know? It's like, no. It's like trying to copy your homework. It's like, buddy, buy your own comic.
Yeah.
So yeah, that'll premiere tomorrow. We'll be back a week from Wednesday to do another Versus. It's probably going to be Dune, the two Dunes versus each other. So the David Lynch versus the whatever the guy's name, Denis Villeneuve. It's like, and then Thursday I'm doing a podcast. I don't even know what's going on. Someone reached out to me from the Action Elite, and they want to do a podcast. I said yes, like in October, and I forgot. And then they're like, "Oh yeah, you're still good for this Thursday?" I'm like, "Sure." It's going to be on Star Wars. I'll let you guys know where that's going to be. I don't even know myself. I'm literally just agreeing to anything. And then no stream this Saturday because I've got a lot going on this week, so I need to take a break. It's family for us. I don't know if you have this in the States. In Canada, we've got our family. Yeah, we've got family day, so I'm going to take the weekend off. I'm watching a lot of stuff, catching up on Blake 7, which I'm watching now. I've watched all the trailers now, and I know everything that's going on. And I think is Superman Lois this week? Is that on tonight? It's not on today. Okay, perfect. Which is great. I don't want it to be on. But we'll talk about Peacemaker when we'll talk about all that next not this Saturday, but next Saturday we're definitely going to be back. But a week from today, same time, we'll be back with more of the women of wrestling, weekly women of world wrestling. I like WWW. So, okay, guys, I think that's it for today. So hopefully we'll see you guys tomorrow for the 90s comics, and if not, we'll see you next week back where we started. All right, guys, take care.
Hey friends, you've just been listening to J-Man, and he is the smartest person who ever lived. So make sure you like and subscribe.